Manage the asset. Okay. I'll just preface this where there's a lot more to manage an asset that I'm going to go through. We have a guide as well on this. A lot of it's just going to be from experience. You could be the smartest person in the line of business that you're in, be super successful, and again, very smart, intelligent, even common sense, but doesn't mean you know how to asset manage a property. It doesn't. A lot of it just comes from experiences, making mistakes, knowing what questions to ask, seeing enough things. With that said, you can learn it very quickly if you have the aptitude to do that. And there are certain other people that, frankly, never should be asset managing in property. If you're not detail oriented, for one, you shouldn't asset manage a property, hands down. Ideally, you could have an asset manager that's local to the property. Doesn't happen a lot of time, but ideally, that would be a big bonus. But basically, they're managing the property. Like the PM company is going to be the property management company on site there. And the asset manager is kind of making sure they're doing what it should do. You want to know who's going to manage the construction? Is that the asset manager? Is it construction manager? Is it the property management company? Is it a third party? Usually there are fees associated with that. Timely monthly reports. You need to make sure that the PM company is giving you reports on time. Usually the 15th to 20th of the month. Post. So like, if it was May, May comes to an end. You're not going to get May's reports typically till like mid-June. That's just the way it works. That's how long it takes them to get you reports. Get your CPA involved early when you close an asset. Give them a bunch of stuff. Hey, what do you need for my taxes? And you're going to give them like, the PSA, the operating agreement, everything, right? Get all that stuff to them. Like, there's no reason to delay or wait on that. And plus, when it's fresh in your mind, right? Settlement statement, removing an asset manager, removing a manager. How do you do that? Some of that can get complicated depending on the way operating agreements are. So just be careful on that. My general stance is that any asset manager should be able to be removed pretty much immediately. And I would say even without cause. And say, well, why would you remove someone without cause? Well, cause can be maybe difficult to even show if you want to say. Maybe the person's just a jerk. Frankly, do you want asset managers a jerk to everybody? No, probably not. So is that cause to remove somebody? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I have an agreement so I can remove them whenever I want without cause. I'd rather have that. Selling, include lender money coming back to you. So when you sell a property, you have a loan amount, right? But you might have money sitting with the lender. Sitting with a lender, we could call a holdback. Money, it shows on the statement typically. You could have interest reserves. You could have property tax escrows, insurance escrows, things like that. Now, some of those will, if you want to say, be a big benefit to you. If you have a $10 million loan and $1 million in holdbacks, it's like for CapEx you haven't used, your loan, depending on how your loan is structured, but your loan technically is only $9 million. That's huge, right? If you say, great, and I have $200,000 sitting there for property taxes, I'm going to deduct that off. And that's extra for me, right? It decreases my loan amount because the lender's holding it for me. I'd say yes, if you do that, but not so fast because probably you're going to have your contract's going to probably say that you're going to prorate property taxes. So if you close 10 months into the year of when the property tax cycle is and you're prorating it, you as a seller are going to be paying 10 months prorations of that, right? So you can't just take the money escrowed by the lender and not account for what you're going to have to pay. I can tell you there have been many, many surprises by a lot of very smart people on a settlement statement going like, what? Like, what are all these costs involved in here? How is it so much? It is, and it can be. I mean, your broker fee, say you're paying 1.5%, 2%, 3%, 4% to a broker, these things all add up. And maybe you have payables, they're going to have to be paid even post closing, lots and lots of stuff. Asset management is a ton of work. Previously, I mentioned asset manager receives 1% to 2% an asset management fee. I can tell you my personal opinion is a 1% asset management fee is ridiculously low. And in fact, I would never even ask an asset manager to do it for that. It's not enough money. Not enough money for all the work involved in it.